Hey guys. Hello. How is everybody doing? Some incense for you guys. I hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. So yeah, we're going to be doing some general readings for Earth sign Taurus and Air sign Gemini. Um, so yeah, we pulled the cards here for Taurus that we're going to start with, and then we'll reshuffle and do some energy cleansing and clearing, and then we'll switch over to Gemini. So everybody is welcome, regardless of where you may have Taurus and Gemini in your chart. But yeah, if this reading does not resonate for you, always feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs and other videos here on my channel. And if you don't know what your other placements are, you can always check out, I think it's Cafe Astrology or astrologycafe.com has free birth chart information. Even if you don't know your exact birth time, sometimes you can still find out your other placements. You may not be able to find out your rising sign or ascendant sign, but you can still find out where your Venus is, where your Jupiter is, your Saturn, etc. So yeah, check that out if you feel guided. But yeah, let's go ahead here and get into Taurus energy. I'm just going to turn up the music just a little bit, kind of ambient music in the background for the chihuahuas to hopefully keep their noise down. All right, so like I said, we're going to be covering, or maybe I didn't say yet, but we're going to be covering that 4.5-week time period. Let me take this off because it's just really hard to see. I was trying to do the leftovers of Halloween or All Souls Day or the Mexican Day of the Dead. But yes, so we're going to be covering this 4.5-week period from October 30th through November 30th. Anything else? If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Everyone is appreciated. And a couple free ways to support the channel, of course, is to like the video. Not only does it tell me that you enjoyed it, but it also tells YouTube's algorithms to share it more with others. So that's a great free way to support the channel. Also, if you want to physically share it with others by sending it to them or putting it on your social media or something, that's another great free way to support the channel. And then, of course, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to at some point, all you have to do is click in the bottom right corner and follow the instructions. Actually, no, there's no instructions to subscribe. Sorry. That was for something else. You just hit subscribe, okay? So as long as you have a basic YouTube account that's free, it'll just notify you when I put out new readings. So again, I just kind of wanted to share with people real quickly too, for the people who have been coming back for some time, is the reason why my stuff is a little bit late this time is I actually fell off of a parade float. Towards the end, not actually in the parade, thank God. But I did get a huge hematoma on my leg, which was super painful and uncomfortable. So I had to take a couple of days off just to get myself together. So good times for that. But everybody has accidents, you know, so thank God I didn't break my leg. So it could have been much worse. But anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and do a quick sound bell to get into the energy here of Taurus and just to ground ourselves and everything, okay? So I know it's a little sunny right now. I will be bringing the cards closer up for each one so you can see them, of course, more in detail. All right, so let's go ahead here. All right. That was a good one, I think. All right. Let's just put this over here, Taurus. And let's go ahead and call out your cards and see what we have here for you. All right. So we are going to talk about real quickly before I call the cards out the time frames that these things may be happening, right? So this is just kind of a general guide. It will be different for everyone since it's a general reading for multiple people. But we said the first card could be from around October 30th through November 6th. And I'll mention the dates again when we're on each card. The second card from around November 7th through November 14th. And the third card could be from around November 15th through November 21st, and the fourth from around November 22nd through November 30th. All right, and then we'll talk about what's on the bottom here because we are using two different tarot decks and all that good stuff. So now let's call them out. All right, Taurus. So you start off here with the Queen of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. You have the Hanged Man in the right side up position. You have the Seven of Staves in the right side up position. And then you have the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. Okay. So yeah, well, again, we'll talk about these other cards a little bit later as Spirit wants me to do that in a certain time. But yeah, as far as real quickly, I want to mention the other zodiac frequencies that are showing up here for the people who are interested. We have Pisces energy. We have Gemini energy as far as the major arcana. So you have two major arcanas. And then what does that mean, right? As far as the Pisces and the Gemini energy, it means you could be dealing with a Pisces or a Gemini sun sign, or you could be dealing with someone who has a lot of those placements in their chart or your chart, vice versa. It could also be referencing something you need to look into in your birth chart to give you more insight, or it could be referencing the Pisces season or the Gemini season of this year, of last year, of next year, right, etc. So it doesn't necessarily have to resonate, but I like to call it out. So just put that in the back of your mind. But now, as far as your minor arcana, I want to count what is the dominant one that's showing up here. So you've got three swords, one pentacle, so it's obviously not a pentacle, two staves, is that right? No, I'm sorry. Okay. Three swords, two pentacles, my bad, and two staves or wands, as they're called. All right, so swords is still the prevailing one here, the majority. So that can be an additional underlying theme to your reading. Okay, so when we talk about swords, we're talking about our crown chakra, our logical brain. Okay, so can be dealing with mental health stuff, whether it's good mental health or bad mental health, right? But swords can be used as a tool or a weapon, same kind of idea. So just put that in the background of your mind, right, to have, as an additional insight. But let's go into the rest of the reading here, Taurus, okay? So you've got some really nice energy in your first card, and I said this could be the week we're in now where I'm filming this. Today's the 2nd, I believe. And again, I want to say happy Halloween, happy All Souls Day, happy Mexican Day of the Dead to those that celebrate or did celebrate. All right. But back to this Queen of Sacred Circles energy here, Taurus. This is a very abundant energy. This is a very nurturing energy in some ways as well. Okay, and the sacred circles are the same things as pentacles. So this could be energy a little bit from the recent past when we're talking about the first card, and the recent past can be a couple days ago, weeks, months, or even years, depending on how you relate to what is past, right? But this is one of the more gentle queens in the tarot, right? The more nurturing side. We see this grandmother figure here with the child, okay? But she is at the height of her power. We have the full moon in the background. The full moon is the culmination, the biggest the full moon can go. So it's another metaphor for her being at the peak of her life, let's say. So this is really beautiful, abundant energy as far as money when we talk about pentacles, but not just money, okay? It can be whatever you want to manifest in your life, or also your value. When we talk about pentacles or sacred circles, we're also talking about our values. So this Taurus could be you in your life, or someone you're dealing with, multiple people you're dealing with, or just the general environment situation. It could also have something to do with with the general astrology here, but it's very good. So whatever it is, and it's going to be different and resonate different for everybody, this is really nice to see showing up as the first card in your reading, okay? Especially when we're talking about the beginning of a new month that we're in here in November, okay? All right, so let's keep going now and see what else we have for here for you. So then your second card is the Hanged Man in the right side up position. In this deck, it's called the Hanged One, but it's traditionally the Hanged Man, right? And it's a little bit of that Pisces energy we mentioned before. But this is really beneficial as well. A beautiful card showing up here for you, Taurus, around possibly November 7th through the 14th, okay? It's just a guide for as far as the time. But this is really nice energy because it is someone or some energy, I'm repeating myself, but that is very open to looking at things from a different perspective, okay? Seeing something from a child's eyes, okay, a newborn baby, seeing something from a different set of eyes, and just being open to looking at things from a different point of view or angle. So this is really nice to see. And so I think, again, these first, let's say 2 weeks of November are looking really good here for you, Taurus. So that is nice. Now, when we get to your third card here, because there's not too much else to say about the Hanged One, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? But actually, I want to go back to the first card for a second. When we started with that Queen of Sacred Circles or Queen of Pentacles, it also could be for some that there is some type of promotion or elevation in some area of your life in this first week or two of November, okay? Because we do have that Queen's energy. So for some, you could be getting, again, a promotion, a raise. You could get into a higher level in some type of relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, with friends or family. Whatever the next step is in something, there's definitely that elevation energy showing up here in that first card too. So I forgot to mention that. All right. But now going back to your third card, we have the Seven of Staves, also known as the Seven of Wands, in the right side up position. And so this is a really nice energy as well, very beneficial, complementary energy to the other first two cards that came out. But this is about spiritual awakenings, initiations, asking for help from not only, let's say, people in the 3D physical world, but also in the spiritual world. So if you look really closely at the card, there's a little tiny person here in the center in this Egyptian temple, and they have their arms open, okay, ready and asking maybe the Egyptian gods for some help in some way, or they're meditating, or they're doing a spell or a prayer intention. There's something here where the focus is very spiritual and beautiful in nature. And it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual here, Taurus. It can just be that the energy is open and ready to receive, again, with those hands open. So it could be by the middle of November, because you or someone around you in your environment is in that energy, you could be becoming more abundant, right? So more wealthy in certain ways, but also more driven towards your goals and making things manifest in the 3D world and also the spiritual world, right? So it's spiritual. Now, also with this Seven of Staves or Seven of Wands in the right side up position, it could be that if there was not great health in the past, the physical body and the mental health, that with this Seven of Wands or Seven of Staves, things are turning around for the better. So that's really nice to see. So Taurus, really pretty much this first 3 weeks are looking really nice, okay? So awesome. But now when we get into your last card, and it's nothing to freak out about, right? It's just a little bit of an energetic blockage or gentle reminder or challenge, as I like to call them. And we all have them. They're usually, sometimes not in every single reading, but it's just something that could go this way as of right now when I'm doing this reading, but there's always free will and current change of events, right? Human nature. So always keep that in mind. But we start here. We go over here, Taurus, to that fourth week, which we said could be from around November 22nd through November 30th, with the Princess of Swords in the reverse position here. So it could be towards the end of the month that there is a little bit of confusion here, Taurus, mental confusion. There could also be a little bit of this stubborn energy of either you yourself or someone around you that you're dealing with. Your environment could even be stubborn or harsh, right? Where somebody is maybe even second guessing that third week, that Seven of Wands energy, where there was some type of spiritual initiation, spiritual awakening. I say that because the sun is behind her, right? But it's reversed. Okay, so normally the sun would also represent spiritual awakenings, enlightenments, downloads, right? Seeing something from not just a new perspective, going back to your second card, but seeing it from a broader point of view, or even something with as far as integrating the emotions with the logical mind. That's normally what the Princess of Swords is doing if she was in the right side up position, but she is reversed here. So maybe this is not even you, Taurus. I mean, it could be, like, we all have, our different parts of ourselves. I don't think it's necessarily you, because based on this, it looks like you've been doing your shadow work. You're healing in certain ways, but you never know. Okay, so with this Princess of Swords in that reverse position, though, somebody maybe is doing really well in a spiritual sense, let's say, but let's say they're doing are doing well with their emotions, if they're not necessarily deeply spiritual or religious, as not everybody is, then maybe there is something going on where logically they can't come to some conclusion to mix those two things together. But let's go ahead and talk about what's underneath. This is where spirit, gives us more insight. Maybe see why this Princess of Swords showed up in the reverse position. Okay, so when we're talking about the bottom cards, this is always past energy, not recent past, but further back, whatever that means for you. All right, so these are also, I like to call them the sponsor cards, the ones that made it possible for this Princess of Swords to show up in the right side up position in the future, current, present energies, and these guys are past, right? So what we have is this Six of Staves in the right side up position and the Lovers in the reverse position here. So it seems to me, Taurus, that in the past, in some way, there could have been a lot of support or even celebrations with that Six of Staves or Six of Wands over here in that right side up position. But then, on the other hand, we have the Lovers in the reverse position. So there was some type of, union or partnership that perhaps was out of balance. Okay, so it can be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. It can also be platonic with friends or family, or even union of different parts of yourself if you're working on self-love. But something here in the past didn't have an equal give and take. And possibly it was not the higher vibrational frequencies of love, of bringing out the best in two people, two energies, two parties. It was more the lower vibrational frequencies, so not bringing out the best in each other, right? So this could be saying here, Taurus, that in the past, this is still kind of not fully healed in some way, perhaps for some, or it's just, if it is fully healed, it's still painful, right? So you can heal something and not be as triggered as you normally were in the past, but it's still, let's say, painful in some way. So perhaps the reason why it's showing up here, Taurus, is worried that it's going to happen again. There's something about, again, keeping the emotions separate from the logical mind, keeping the spiritual, the religious separate from the logical 3D world. And that's not possible, right? They're supposed to go in unison and be balanced in equal kind of areas. So again, this is just a little bit of an energetic blockage or gentle reminder or challenge. But let's see what else Spirit wants to talk about over here with your confirmation card as well. Okay. So now, Taurus, when we get to this confirmation card, it's going to come in here and confirm all 4 cards, all 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks that we're talking about. All right. And so this card, the way I like to read it is it's a combination of past and future energies. And it is the Three of Swords in the reverse position. Okay. And so that's a really good reversal. That's how you want to see the Three of Swords in the reverse position, because it is saying here that if somebody or some energy continues to do their healing, continues to let go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, hurt, or betrayal feelings, that they or you or the environment can get back on track, and move forwards towards your goals. Okay, so let's see what's underneath it though, because actually this is where Spirit this time wanted these energies from the past to kind of explain why this card maybe came out here too. All right, so what we have as far as the past energy is the Nine of Pentacles in the right side up position and that Two of Swords in the reverse position. And again, this is past energy that is showing up underneath your confirmation card here, Taurus, okay, under that Three of Swords. So this is basically, pretty much telling us that in the past, there was perhaps more clear-sighted vision, more direct focus on something. There was perhaps more supportive energy, more abundance, more money, if we're talking about money, right? But in the same time that that was going on, somebody also, or because that was going on, I'm sorry, because that was going on, somebody or some energy decided to make a decision. Okay, they decided to come out of the Two of Swords, and because it was reversed. So they came out of that, they started to make some kind of decision about something. Okay, they decided to integrate again that heart chakra and the crown chakra, the logical mind, with the emotions or intuition. And that's kind of what made it possible for that Three of Swords to be in the reverse position, for the healing to take place. So because this is showing up with your confirmation card, not your first 4 main cards, it's almost like you need to do that again here, Taurus, because, or if you never did it yet, no, you did, because this is past. So yeah, it's saying do it again. Okay, rely on your support system, whatever it may be, friends, family, romantic partner, etc., mental health care worker, whatever, right? Animals, all that stuff. So then you can have that support that you need just in the background in case you do worry that things are not necessarily going to go the way that you want, but also so that support system is there so you can focus more on what you need to do. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles, right? You normally see a falcon on this woman's shoulder, a blinded falcon, right, with the little, not blinded, but with the little thing that goes over their eyes. I don't know what's the hood, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully you know what I'm talking about, right? So then they take off that from the falcon and then they can go and do what they're supposed to do. So it's almost like if there's a support system here that can help you focus more and again integrate the emotions, the intuition with the logical mind, that healing will take place again. And yeah, so this is looking really nice. Just a couple things to think about, right? So, but your first 3 weeks still are really good as well. So let's see real quickly though, before we end Taurus and switch over to Gemini, we do have your Oracle card here. And this is really funny that this card came out when I was shuffling, because I heard no like one time when I was shuffling, just randomly like no, right? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna mental note that, right? And then when I was confirming your cards, if you see me before shuffle, I'll put my hands over and ask if this is where they want them to be, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, yes. And I was like, okay, cool. But your Oracle card that you got for this time period, Taurus, is no. Okay. So there's something it's saying here to wait, postpone, pause, or say no. Okay. And we kind of have this pyramid here with some lightning and the Egyptian symbols. All right. So it kind of makes me think of, if you're familiar in tarot, the tower, right? With that lightning. Okay. Um, so I don't know. It could go a couple different ways here, Taurus. Sorry, let me turn this down. It could be that this wait, postpone, pause, or say no has something to do with the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. It could also be that if there was, because you started off with the Queen, right, and then you're ending with the Princess, but in reverse. If there was another area in your life where you wanted to level up what the other person did or go to the next step, okay? Perhaps it's saying wait and it's saying no, because there still needs to be more support and more focus, okay? Now, also, real quickly before we switch over to Gemini, let's see what, 'cause I can't remember now. I know that in that fourth week here, towards the end of November, we do have Athena Pallas, the asteroid, going into retrograde, okay? So that could also be something about the no here, okay? Because normally Athena Pallas is Athena, right, with her sword and her shield being a symbol of wisdom and defense and a warrior. So for some, the wisdom, the intuition, the warrior side is not as strong because Athena Pallas is going in retrograde, it's going backwards, not forwards. Okay, so it could have something to do also with our immune systems during that time, maybe are not as strong as they normally are. Okay, it's not for everybody, and I don't like to make people fearful at all. That's not what I'm about. Okay, but yeah, maybe it's just saying slow down a little bit, okay? Um, but yeah, there's definitely different ways that you can take it, but I just wanted to see what else. Yeah, that's kind of only thing astrology wise for that fourth week. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. All right, but let's go ahead now and switch over to Gemini. So thank you for everybody for your energy and every interviews and everything. For the people who maybe are just sticking around for Taurus and leaving, I just want to say thank you, and I hope you did get something from this reading. I also will be posting the photo of all the cards. I already took it earlier before I got on camera. So after the live is done, a little later today, I'll be posting it on my Facebook, and it's really easy to get to. But all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there if you want to check out the photo, but you don't have to, of course. So anyway, let's do some shuffling. First, we're going to let the cards charge and clear a little bit. And we'll do another sound bell to kind of just clear the energy and switch over to Gemini. Gemini. All right, and I will be posting timestamps too as well after the live for people who don't want to see the shuffling and they just want the reading. So I always like to make that an option as well. So let's turn the music a little bit. And do some sound bell here, get a little water, and we'll keep going. All right. So, you're Gemini. All right, air sign Gemini, you're coming up. So I'm going to look at the time here. We're at 28 minutes or so. So I'll make a mental note of that. All right, so just be aware it does get a little loud, but it won't be going on for too long. Okay, so if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just kind of relax and tune in, right? And we're going to get these messages from Spirit and see what they have to say. All right, so Gemini. Gemini. Okay. And for those of you just tuning in, I did want to say happy late Halloween, All Souls Day, Mexican Day of the Dead, right? So I did share earlier that I fell off backwards off of a parade float that I was doing for work. And yeah, I almost broke my leg. I didn't actually break it, thank the God and the goddess, but I did get a huge hematoma, how do you say it? Hematoma. And so I had to take a few days off from the readings because I was trying to get everything done before Halloween, and it didn't happen. So, but anyway, I'm okay, and that's what's important. And I'm not as embarrassed as I was when it first happened, because accidents happen, right? I have been in and out of that float like 20 times that day and had no problem. But of course, towards the end in the parking lot, when no one's around, thank God, my coworkers or friends were still there, but I didn't fall off during the parade, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, good time. So I'm here. Yes, I'm happy to be here. So we're going to do some shuffling and get started with Gemini. And I am a sun sign Sagittarius, which I always usually share, right? And so Gemini is the opposite sign of me. And I have a lot of Gemini friends. And so I feel like sometimes we do have a common kind of sense of humor. So that's why I was sharing that too with you guys. But I probably share it with anybody. But maybe Gemini will appreciate it more. You never know. All right. So anyway, oops. Let me just shuffle in here. Let's go ahead and get this chit chatter over with, and let's see what Spirit wants for you, Gemini. All right, so Spirits guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini for October 30th through November 30th, Gemini. Messages for air sign Gemini for their highest vibration. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini for October 30th through November 30th. Only 4 cards, please, Spirits. Messages for air sign Gemini for October 30th through November 30th, Gemini. What does Gemini need to see? What does Gemini need to know for their highest vibration for October 30th through November 30th, Gemini? Messages for air sign Gemini for their highest vibration October 30th through November 30th, Gemini. All right. And we also take the top and the bottom, right? We'll just put these over here first. And I'll confirm with Spirit they want these. Okay. And Spirits. Love and light. Thank you, Spirits, for your wisdom, guidance, and advice given. And thank you, of course, for listening, Spirits, and respect, reverence, and all that good stuff. All right. So, Spirits, do you want me to talk? Wait a minute. Hold on. Probably here. All right. Let's check. I want to confirm this is where they want me to talk to you guys about this. So, Spirits, do you want me to talk about the King of Staves in the reverse position and the 7 of Sacred Circles in the reverse position? I want to talk about the 4 of Cups in the right side of position. Okay, cool. So that's where they want that. So we will leave those there and switch over to the other deck here real quickly. I'm just going to get 1 card from this one. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits guide my hands. 1 card only. For air sign Gemini, the twins. For October 30th through November 30th. Air sign Gemini, the twins. For October 30th through November 30th. They want that one. Alright. Well, let me double check. Seriously. Only tarot confirmation card for this Gemini. Okay, they do want that one. So then we do the same thing. We're going to take the top and the bottom. Over here. Confirm real quickly. Spirit, select the death card in the first position. Represent what's on top of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Gemini reading. No. Okay, Spirits, you want the death card in the right side up position to represent what's on the top of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Gemini reading. Yes, okay. Thank you, Spirits. And Spirits, you want the Hierophant in the reverse position to represent what's on the bottom of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Gemini reading. Yes, okay. Well, let's see. Maybe they want it with the first card. Let's find out real quickly. Spirits, do you want the death card? Do you want me to talk about the death card in the right side up position and the Hierophant in the reverse position when I talk about the Justice card in the right side up position? No. Okay. Let's see. Maybe they want me here. Spirits, when we talk about the death card in the right side up position and the Hierophant in the reverse position when I talk about the Four of Cups in the right side up position. Yes. Okay. So that's interesting. That hasn't happened in a while where all of the energy from the past wants to go on one card, but it has known to happen. So we'll put it there because that's where Spirit wants it. All right, let's get the Oracle card and then we'll get started. This messages for Air Sign Gemini, the twins, for October 30th through November 30th. One card only, please, Spirits. What does Gemini need to see? What does Gemini need to know? All right. Okay. Get up in there. Spirits. Okay. They want it, so that's awesome. So then we'll go ahead and take our picture really quickly that we will be posting after the live. And if in case you want to get a bird's eye view of all the cards together or zoom in closely and get the more detailed nuances of the imagery, if that's something that you're into, but you don't have to be, of course. So yeah, that looks good. So let's see what we have here for you, Gemini. All right. So again, we're talking about this 4.5 week time period from October 30th through November 30th. And what time are we at? 37 minutes. Okay. So we've got the Justice card in the right side up position, the Prince of Cups in the right side up position, the Four of Cups in the right side up position, and the Two of Cups in the right side up position. Wow. Okay, Gemini, lots of cups here. Interesting. Okay. So when we're on each card, I'll talk about the possible time frames that it can cover. I'll go over it right now real quickly. The first card can be from around October 30th through November 6th. Second one could be from around November 7th through November 14th. The third one could be around mid-November, November 15th through the 21st. And the last one will be November 22nd through November 30th. Okay, again, they're just reference points. They may not be exact. But yeah, let's see here, Gemini, as far as your other zodiac frequencies that are showing up here. Wow, you do have a repeating card, which is really cool. We'll talk about that. But it looks like you have 3 major arcanas, okay? We're just noting that it's neither good nor bad, right? You do have the Justice card, which is Libra energy. You have the Death card, which is Scorpio, and you have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, okay? So you could be dealing with a Libra, a Scorpio, or a Taurus, or you have a lot of it in your chart, or they do, or multiple people do. Or it could also be referencing a time frame, Libra season, Scorpio season, which we're in now, Taurus season, right? So it could be a couple different things, but I just like to point it out and note it. But if it doesn't resonate with you, that part, then that's okay. Just put it aside, right? But yeah, I just like to mention it real quickly. Now we'll also real fast, we're going to see what the major minor arcanas are. So the majority of the minor arcanas, I should say. So it looks like it's probably cups, but let's just make sure. So we've got 1 wand, 1 pentacle, and yeah, it's cups. Okay. So what does that mean? The majority or the The minor arcana, the one that's most present, whether it's wands, cups, swords, pentacles, can be another underlying theme to the reading. So because it's cups, cups refers to our emotions in the tarot. Okay, so I would say here, Gemini, because most of them, or all of them actually, are in the right side up position, that it could be some good emotional stuff going on in the background. Okay. Um, so yeah, so just again keep that in the back of your mind. But let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty stuff here. So we start off with your first card being that Justice card, and we said it could be from around October 30th through November 6th or so. All right, and this first card can also be energy from the recent past, a little bit trickling in, right? So that could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. It will be different for everybody. But we have the Lady Justice here talking about either something being brought to justice, someone's actions being justified, your actions, someone else's. Also, what are the rules in society? So it can deal with legal court cases, right? The court system. But it's an energy of wanting like a clear distinction between good and bad, right? We even have, I always say this, but I think it's really cool that it shows in this deck the Ten Commandments on the bottom, if you can see it really closely. And then, of course, we have a snake going up around Lady Justice's legs. So it's like, how can we find the truth and evolution within these rules? Like, what is the truth? Okay. So this is showing up in your first week here. So again, you could be dealing with a Libra, or there's just that kind of energy, in your environment. Okay. But it's looking really positive with all the cards that are surrounding it. Okay. Because I'm just going to say, like, right off the bat here, Gemini, because I don't usually talk about the confirmation card until the end, but it's also a cups card, and it's a repeating cups card. Okay. So when a card is repeated in two different decks, right? It is a particular message from spirit to be like, hey man, pay attention. Because if you saw me shuffle, even though later I put the timestamps where you don't have to see me shuffle if you don't want, but believe me, you'll see it there. So when it comes out, it's like it really wants to come out. Spirit really wants that message to be brought. So I feel like whatever this Justice card energy is for you, Gemini, it looks super positive for the most part here because of all the right side up positions of the cups. Okay, and again, that repeating card. But let's go ahead and break it down even more. So now we're going to talk about your second week, second card, which we said could be from around November 7th through November 14th. All right. And we have the Prince of Cups in the right side up position. So it looks like here in that basically first and second week of November, there could be some type of medium-sized opportunity or communication that's coming to you, Gemini, or going out from you, right? You could be having to want to communicate something to somebody, and it is not a small message, but it's not a large message, whatever the message may be, or vice versa. Or if it is an opportunity coming in from the universe, spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever you like to prefer to call it, it is because it's a Prince card, it's a medium size, right? So it's not the smallest offer, if let's say we're talking about work, but it's also not the largest one that maybe you want. It's more than a starting point because it's not a page, it's a Prince. But that's kind of what we're saying there as far as how the size of it. Okay, if that makes sense to you guys, hopefully it does. But yeah, this is looking really good though, right? Because his horse is dressed up a little bit and he looks like a fancy prince. He's leaving the storm behind him in the past. He's going to greener pastures. Okay, so I really feel because it follows that Justice card too, that somebody or something got the justice that they wanted or they deserved, right? And now they are going to greener pastures and they're looking for something more emotionally fulfilling. Because that's again, when we talk about cups, water goes in your cup, okay, right? So that is our emotions, right? Our bodies are 90% water, okay? So it looks like something could be more emotionally satisfying or fulfilling coming in here as well with this forward momentum and movement, okay? Now, Gemini, when we get to your third week here, it's a little bit of an energetic blockage, but if I was to say the size of it, I would say it's a little small. Okay, it's not like a huge kind of thing to deal with. Perhaps for some, it may be bigger, but I feel with my own intuition and energetically with the following cards that this is going to be kind of a smaller energetic blockage or gentle reminder or challenge, as I like to say, okay? Because that third week, the middle of November, from around November 15th through the 21st or so, we have the Four of Cups in the right side up position, okay? And if you can see this guy's posture, I know the cards are really old and scratched up. This is my first set of tarot deck, so I like to use it for good luck. But anyway, his arms are crossed and he's just looking really like blah, okay? So he's like, okay, whatever's in these three cups, they're not challenging me. They're not exciting or thrilling to me. I'm just not feeling it, right? But what is needed here, Gemini, is patience, okay? And also a perspective change, right? So we see it's Four of Cups. That's what the name of the card is. He's only looking at the three down here, but what's over here is what's coming in. So something coming in the future will be more emotionally fulfilling, satisfying, challenging, exciting, thrilling, all of those things. But he needs to remain patient, okay? And he also needs to, and we say he because it's just the way the card is depicted, but whatever gender or lack thereof, whatever, right? He just needs to hold off a little bit and wait, okay? And have some type of perspective change where he can be, if he changes his perspective slightly, or is more open-minded, let's say, then this better thing that's more satisfying, fulfilling, and thrilling and exciting emotionally and all the good stuff. If he's still in that kind of funky mood, right, he's not going to see it or catch it in time or bring it energetically towards him. So law of attraction thing going on. So anyway, let's go ahead and break down, okay, what's underneath it, because this is where Spirit this time put all of the energy from the past underneath this card, okay? So when that happens too, it could be that something maybe triggers you or triggers the other person or general environment situation here too. So that's another way to look at it as well. But we'll start with the first two, okay? So this is past energy, days, months, weeks, years, etc., whatever it means for you. These, I like to call them the sponsor cards. These guys made it possible for that Four of Cups to show up in the right side up position. Okay, so this is future, current, present energies when we're doing this reading, and this is past energy. So what we have in the past is the King of Staves in the reverse position and the Seven of Sacred Circles in the reverse position as well, okay? And so what we have here in the past, Gemini, is somebody who's not confident or an energy that is not conducive or complementary. And we are talking about a little bit of fiery energy over here with the staves, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it's not the official card, okay? And then we have Earth sign energy over here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, right? Okay. As far as energetic frequencies from the zodiac. But we have the energy, I'm trying to think of the way to describe it, or the person is someone who wasn't making enough plans for the future, okay? And that totally makes sense to me with this Four of Cups here, because if you don't plan for your Thanksgiving meal, because that's the way this card always looks to me, right? If you don't plan for the winter, you're not gonna have anything to eat, right? And if you're in a funky mood, okay, or again, you're just not, or the other person, general environment, if it's not you, Gemini, then you're not going to have anything to eat, and you're not going to have any whatever it is in your life that you want to manifest, right? And also, the same side of that is like if you have a lack of enthusiasm, what we said with the Four of Cups, of course, it's going to affect your confidence. Of course, the King is going to be reversed, right? Of course, the passion, the creativity, the courage, right, with the lions here, is not going to necessarily be there or be at its height or be at its strongest peak. Again, because of this energy. So let's go even possibly further back or just in the past in general, because we have the other deck also wants to be talked about with this Four of Cups, because the rest of your reading is looking very positive here. So again, this is really your only, let's say, gentle reminder or challenge or energetic blockage. Okay. But what we have again, down your past energy, we have the Death card, Scorpio energy in the right side up position. And then we have the Hierophant in the reverse position, which is Taurus energy. Okay. So in the past, in some way, perhaps somebody or some energy was more open to change with that Death card showing up here. Something needed to be put to rest in order for some new stuff to come in. There also could be, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. With this Hierophant in the reverse position here, Gemini, it could be that somebody in the past fell off with, let's say, a teacher, okay, because the Hierophant can talk about schools and institutions, or they fell off with their own leadership skills, or you did, vice versa. Or somebody or some energy was no longer vibing with, let's say, a priest, a guru, a teacher, a mentor, or again, their leadership qualities in themselves. Okay. So I feel that this is something that definitely happened in the past. But perhaps this person, right, if we put it together like this, just side by side kind of, he's possibly still focused with the Four of Cups on the past, right? He's like, look at all this stuff from the past, right? How can I create something new if all I've known is this funky shit, right? Excuse my French, right? So yeah, but all he needs is a perspective change or just to wait, right? Be patient here, Gemini, okay? But let's keep going because I think that was a good amount of time and hopefully that made sense for you guys. Okay, I'll just keep the music on a little bit there. So now when we get out of that, because that's what I'm saying, it is whatever this is, it doesn't last for too long. Okay, because then your next card, your fourth week, looks really positive. Okay. So now we have the Two of Cups in the right side up position, and this could be from around, we said November 22nd through November 30th or so. All right, so now we have this beautiful energy of some type of union or partnership, whether it's romantic, like the card is shown, or a work partnership, or a partnership with friends or family, or even self-love union, that kind of thing. There's more equal give and take here. Okay, they're bringing out the best in each other. It's divinely guided union. Okay, and because we said Scorpio down here showed up in your reading, and you have Four Cups cards. Okay, it could definitely you be dealing possibly for some with one of the water signs. So it could be Cancer, it could be Pisces, or it could be Scorpio, but not necessarily. Just wanted to point out there that there's a lot of water energy here. So even if we're not talking about other signs or other placements in your chart or their chart, it could also just be a lot of emotion is going on here. But for the most part, it's looking really good. Okay. So that's nice to see here for you, Gemini, especially towards the end of November, maybe even first week or so of December, this Two of Cups energy, okay? So I love to see it. So it's like, hey, remember, if you're patient, Gemini, from your third week to your fourth week, okay, you can get something really, really nice here, all right? All right, let's keep going though. So now we're coming to your confirmation card here, Gemini. I said earlier that it was a repeating card, but I like to read the confirmation card as past and future energy. But because it's the same one as this, it's really saying to me I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. Yeah, just to stay on your path. And even if something is, let's say, not as big as you want it, going back to that medium size opportunity or communication with the Prince of Cups and the Knight of Cups, it's the same card. Prince and Knight are the same, okay? In two different decks. So if you saw me shuffle, you know that I didn't pick these myself. Like Spirit was like, these are coming out, okay? So what I was trying to say though is that if there is this medium-sized communication or opportunity and it's not, let's say, perfect or as big as you want it, it still looks like it's going to be really emotionally satisfying. And it could also be a great partnership. And I would say go for it, right? Again, whether you're giving this to someone or someone's giving it to you, or it's just coming in general from your spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. But it's very beautiful. It's so nice to see, right? And the other thing I'll say real quickly before we get to your oracle card and end it is that the cups, right, are emotions, intuition, of course, but it's also like what do I want to drink, right? I could drink water or I could drink Pepsi, whatever, right? All the different things you can drink, of course, right? So what fills my cup emotionally, spiritually? What makes me emotionally happy? What are my emotional boundaries, emotional priorities? Those are kind of the questions that always are in the background with the cups cards, okay? But it's looking really nice, Gemini. All right, so this is your oracle card for this time period or even beyond. This is Rebecca Campbell deck, but you got the Pleiades, I think that's how you say it. And so, gosh, it's hard to describe, but even for myself, the Pleiades is supposed to be, I guess, a planet in space, or it's a certain type of people that came from that planet and they're here. I can't remember. It's something like that. Okay. So I'll look it up in a second. But anyway, in this card, you see these people floating up towards space, and it says double mission, and it says channeling and uplifting humanity. Okay. So I believe it is about the humans that are the Pleiades. Okay. Because this is her Star Seed Oracle deck. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. All right. So even if you don't necessarily believe in that stuff, right? It's for me talking about uplifting humanity. Well, that would definitely be the Two of Cups, or it could also even be the Justice card, right? Everybody wants a just society, or most people do, right? Okay, so it could be either one of these, right? Everybody wants divinely guided love and partnerships, uplifting humanity, right? Being a what the hell do you call it? Being an example for others, something like that. Okay. But yeah, if you're really interested, you can look more into the Pleiades kind of energy. I'll look it up real quickly just because I want to know for myself. I think I'm right, but see, Pleiades. What does it mean? Okay. Yes. So it's a star system. It's not a planet. Sorry. It's the seven daughters. Um, so that is, I should know this because it's Greek mythology, but I don't know all my stuff. Okay. So it's a cluster of stars in the constellation Taurus that includes six stars in form of a small dipper. Okay. And so I guess each one of these stars has a different name, and so Pleiades is one of them. Okay. So then you also have Electra, Atlas. Can't even read that. Maya, Rita, Acitroy, Celino, Merpope. All right, and Alasinan, Alasinan. All right. Anyway, you can look more into it. So, and sorry for my pronunciation if that's wrong. But anyway, Gemini, this is looking really good. So always feel free to let me know in the comments down below later how this turns out for you if you feel guided. But again, thank you guys so much for your energy and for your views and likes and shares. It really does help support the channel. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. And it's free, it just notifies you when I put out new videos. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and then we will be back with Cancer and Leo a little later today. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you later. Bye.